You're live.
Hi, I'm Danny Nightmare.
I'm Gory B Movie.
And happy birthday, Jason Voorhees.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, not just Friday
Today's
the 13th.
his birthday.
Exactly. June 13th is the day he was born, so it's a special Friday the 13th.
Just a small town boy.
Yeah, big time dreams.
Yeah.
Thought he'd make it to Manhattan someday, and you know what? He did.
He did, actually.
He fought tooth and nail to get there.
Mm-hmm. Swimming, by the way.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason, just going to point that out.
Yeah, lots of swimming, so don't know why he was afraid of water later. Apparently we're just going to have ads.
Sorry.
It's all good. So, anyways, let's do a little Friday the 13th stream. We can rate some characters and then maybe play the video game.
Alright. I haven't tried that in a while.
Yeah.
Surprising me with stuff now.
What was your idea?
Well, dude, you gotta warn me. I'm like here trying to do all your tech stuff, dude. I'm like your guy in the chair, but you gotta like communicate with your guy in the chair. Anyway, I'm suffering. So, do you want me to pull up stuff? Wait a second. I gotta do something really quick to fix your stuff. You talk to your people.
My people. You been watching? Well, unless you're, over in the New Jersey area or getting hacked up by Jason near Crystal Lake yourself, because I'm sure he's killing some people. It's his birthday. He looks pretty good for 79 years old, by the way.
He does. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Honestly, he looks better as they go on. Like, I think by the remake, like, he was looking pretty good, dude. Like, he had gotten rid of some of that baby fat, you know?
Yeah. Though I don't know if that version's 79, but either way.
You're 79. Alright, so let's see here.
That works.
What are we drinking?
Blue Hawaiians.
Oh, well, lottie frickin' da, Danny.
It's time to celebrate.
Your time to celebrate.
Blood has been not only spilled all over that lake, but like even across the cosmos. I guess that hasn't happened yet. That's in the future, but still, we know what happens.
So, how familiar are you with all these Jason characters? Are you gonna tell them what we're doing? Like,
we're gonna rank them like from perfect nipple placement apparently to dead meat, real dead meat. I mean, I would have went with "you're a dead fuck," but whatevs. They're all cool quotes. We'll just pick some random characters here it's got for us. By looking at them, I don't know.
So this is Good Real Hunting's list that we're using.
Get it off of the
We did not make this.
It's on Tier Maker. You can find
You can do it yourself.
Exactly. Probably can't edit it or whatever, but we'll just go with what they got.
Yeah. Alright, I think I got it all set up for you. Dude, awesome. Looks so good.
Alright, well, let's start with the birthday boy himself.
What? Like, what version of him? Like, there's so many.
The one that they have. Alright.
That's from the remake, that picture.
Yeah.
I guess overall, I guess we're going to have to do it overall as a character.
Yeah,
we'll have to consider all aspects of it. Because, like, they have Tommy Jarvis on here, but it's specifically from 6. So... Mm-hmm.
I'm just going with Jason Voorhees, the character.
Okay, so Jason Voorhees. What do we know? What do we like about Jason Voorhees?
I think he wields a mighty fine machete.
I like that he's a mama's boy. I like a man who treats his mama well. I like a man who listens to his mama, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we love a Jersey boy, like, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, Bon Jovi, Jason Voorhees. We love a Jersey boy here. Yeah. So, looks like you got Douglas Fresh here.
What's up, Dougie Fresh?
Ooh, in North Dakota.
We'll probably play some Friday the 13th in a little bit. Right now we're just ranking some characters. You're in North Dakota. Yeah.
So, what else? So he's good to his mama.
Good to his mama.
And he does not move on quickly. He's not a love him and leave him kind of guy. Like, I don't know fucking how he found fucking Alice in part 2, but he found her because he does not let go quickly. Like, if you matter to him, you will always matter to him. And I think that's something I value about him. I also like that he has many skills, like archery, throwing axes. He's really strong. He can pick up freaking sleeping bags full of people. Yeah. Generally, he is not cruel to children. Generally,
yeah. Doesn't usually go after
aside from like when they're related to him, I guess.
And Alice might have been special, though. I mean, she did cut off his mom's head.
It was a special kind of camp.
Like, she cut off his mom's head, so... She might be worth pursuing more.
It was also
more
the
than
first time it opened since he died. So,
right.
like, that was special. It was way more special than the latter ones.
I'm just gonna say it. Just as perfect as all those little dots and his eye holes, his nipple placement is perfect.
I've never seen his nipples. You're a liar. Why did you start with the biggest one of all? Like, this is a lot.
It's the easiest one of all.
It's not the easiest one of all.
He is perfect here.
Things I dislike about him are some of the inconsistencies, which is not his fault. I like to consider the directors to be like his dads. And, some of his dads didn't do a very good job by him, where he's like temporarily afraid of water. So the inconsistencies I don't really care for.
Random long hair that was gone like the next day.
But I do like that we do see a progression in his character. Like in the beginning, he seems like he's just kind of figuring this stuff out. And then as he progresses, he gets angrier and angrier until he gets to like Kane Hodder levels of angry in part 7. and to the point where like he's just like over this shit. He also has strong values, and he does not compromise his values for anybody, you know? I don't have a problem with premarital sex, but that's a value of his, and he stands by it. He doesn't like drugs and alcohol. You know, he's a pretty straight-edge kind of guy, and he's not going to be influenced by anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff kind of led to his childhood being cut short, and, you know, it really pissed off his mom, and like we said earlier, he's a mama's boy, so those values kind of hold strong to him. Just the way he was raised. Which
is why he's like on the opposite end of the spectrum, why it was a good idea to have him go against Freddy Krueger, who's a total perv.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So where are we placing him?
One is childlike like nature, one is nature to prey on children.
I'm going to say perfect nipple placement.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. I mean, honestly, of all the slasher killers, Jason's definitely in my like top 2. It'd be between like him and Chuck.
And I don't know how you have never seen his nipples. Have you not seen the end of the first movie?
He's a little kid. Gross, you little pervert. You're going to horny jail. Go directly to horny jail. Do not pass.
There's nothing horny about it.
Don't be looking at kids' nipples. Cancel and Dan. Stop watching this channel. Fudge.
There's nothing sexual about it.
Cornelius Fudge. What the fudge? All right, I'm moving on. You're too much for me today. I can't deal with you. We're gonna save Tommy Jarvis for last because you had to like blow your load with the first one. Typical.
All right. Well, we kind of talked about his first love here. Alice.
Alice. I like Alice. There's a lot of things, I do a panel on Final Girls at Crypticon Seattle, and a lot of people have this idea that the 80s Final Girl was very pure, and she didn't do drugs, and she didn't have sex, but she was, like, boning the director guy of the camp. So,
she was getting ahead
and she smokes some weed, so, like, especially for your 80s Final Girl, like, I liked that she was just chill. She broke a lot of the rules too, because a lot of the 80s Final Girls also had names that could be also male, like Lori and stuff is also a guy's name. But Alice, yeah, she sets herself apart. She had that great kill at the end where she had man hands and she cuts off Jason's head.
Yeah, hairy knuckles, bam.
Cuts
she
had done a little
nice
dirty.
Clean cut. I don't know how you can do that
in part 2.
That'd be hard to do. Get a whole head off with one swing.
I could do it.
Most likely pull it out and do it a couple more times, but I'm impressed. She holds her own. Where did that whole stereotypical thing from the 80s come from anyways? Because Laurie Strode also smoked weed and was
a little bit, but see,
leaking from the gash.
Here's the thing. Here's
Ben
the thing.
Tramer, so.
The rule is typically she has to be the most pure of all her friends, and I would say even Alice isn't.
No.
There's one girl there who's a total goody two-shoes. So Alice breaks the rules, but Lori is by far the most pure of her friends, and she cannot hold her weed. She's like coughing and shit. She almost gives them away in front of the fucking sheriff guy.
To be fair, in this franchise, like some of the nerdier characters don't fare well. Like the nerdy virgin type characters,
You're a nerdy virgin.
They get kind of picked off even in this franchise. So.
Lori put in her.
You know what? I
perfect
think Alice got
placement.
perfect. Yeah, she's top tier.
Oh. Fudge up the fudge.
All right, we're gonna have to look up some names to be honest. The one from 3.
I feel like it starts with a D.
Final girl from 3. What's her name?
Christy.
Something like that.
That's not a D. I hate her. That's why I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
Honestly, unpopular opinion. Part 3 is not one of my favorites.
But it was in 3D.
Okay.
Chris?
That's the wrong poster. Yeah, I think it is Chris.
Yeah, her name's
it's
Chris.
like the most...
Chrissy, you were close. I mean, someone probably calls her Chrissy in the movie.
I said Christy. I was pretty dang close.
Yeah, whatever.
Closer than
Chris
you
is
were.
short for that. I didn't even have an answer.
I know, right? All right, I truly, truly hate this girl. I truly hate her. One, she just runs around and screams. This movie is also so derivative. I think, two, change things up in a lot of ways. Ginny is very different than Alice, but cool. Mm-hmm. But this one's very derivative. We have the jump scare out of the boat at the end. The special effects look cheesy. I know so many of you love this, and trust me, even this movie I still love and rewatch a lot. So me making criticisms about a Friday the 13th movie does not mean I hate it. Mm-hmm. There's just things that every time I rewatch it, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And Chris is definitely one of them. She just drives me freaking crazy. Like, she goes there and she doesn't seem like she even wants to be there. And I understand she had some, like, SA issues with, like, Jason and stuff. But she's not nice to her friends. Her friends are, I think, in their own way trying to help her. There's really no redeeming qualities about her. I don't even
really see how she fits in with her friends. Like,
and she's honestly not really a final girl.
Two of them are hippies that are, like, 3 times her age. So I don't know how they're friends with them, but...
Definitely not like an 80s final girl, because she doesn't really fight back. She just runs around and screams, and then she's completely insane by the end of it. So she kind of ends up like Sally from our proto-final girl days.
That end scene is cool, but not so much because of her.
No, she doesn't make the movie any better.
I like when Jason's like demasked, and he's like looking out the window. Also, he's hanging there, and he's like smiling at her. I do think it's pretty funny, but I don't get what was going on in some flashback, and I don't like that that's even a thing. That's the movie's fault, not her fault so much.
Yeah,
but
it had some ick, but that's a whole story for another day. So I'm gonna say dead meat, real dead meat. I truly cannot stand her.
Sure, why not?
Sweet.
I mean,
let's not argue, because that helps us everyone be happiest.
I certainly wouldn't rank her higher than the Senior Cruise thing. So but you know what? Dead meat's fair. Let's just throw her there. Let us know if anybody disagrees.
Yeah, absolutely, if you disagree. So, Sam Winchester.
Yeah.
Sam Winchester from the remake.
He's basically the guy from Part 4 who's looking for his sister, but they gave him so much more to do, and he doesn't do the cheesy, he's killing me line.
Which, a lot of people make fun of that line. The director put it in there because he had actually heard a story where that's what a guy was doing as he was being stabbed. So, but it's one of those stranger than fiction things, and I just don't think it really translates well to a film.
I'm not saying somebody wouldn't do it. It's disturbingly funny.
So, Jared Padalecki played Clay Miller in the remake. I really liked Clay. I like that Clay, he doesn't take any shit, but he's not too overly concerned with like the people who are being crappy to him. He's really just focused on finding his sister. He also doesn't discount people just because of who they hang out with. Like when the girl, Jenna, wants to hang out with him and help him find his sister, he's like, yeah, sure, more help the merrier. He's very brave. He keeps going back in to help people even when it looks like it's pretty hopeless. He's also pretty smart. He's the one who figures out like that the one guy's being used for bait and stuff. So yeah, I really like him. Perfect nipple placement.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say he's one of the main reasons to watch that movie. He's badass. He can hold his own. He's a big guy. If you've watched Supernatural, some people think Dean is short, but it's just because Sam is so tall.
He's really tall. Dean's 6'1", so put that into perspective. I believe Jared Padalecki's like 6'6", and it's one of the reasons they wanted him for this remake, because he was the same height as Derek Mears. They're both really, really tall.
Maybe he's like 1.5 inch.
We take it for granted in this franchise, which does have a lot of male heroic characters, but there really aren't a lot of, in these slasher franchises, there really aren't a lot of really good male heroic characters. So it's pretty cool that there's multiple ones that I really enjoy in this franchise, and Clay is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I mean, even the girl who's dating the jerk, decides to ditch the zero and get with the hero, and I don't blame her. And he, cares about his sister. Good family values. All right.
His sister had perfect nipple placement.
So we got the Duke. The Duke is up.
Oh my gosh. So I got feelings about Duke. One, I mean, I love how confident he is. I love how cool he is. On the other hand, he says such weird shit. The whole thing about the donut and a little girl sticking a hot dog through a donut. I'm just going, huh? You're hurting my brain.
And one of the ex, he's like one of the main protagonists in this movie. Like, they're sharing jail cells next to each other, and he was like offers to help him, but only if he lets the Duke break his fingers. Okay, why?
He's got more testosterone than he really needs, which is a problem. But I love his gumption. I love that he's this kind of like Walker Texas Ranger, but with attitude. Like, if you combined, what's the guy from the Cobra movies, the Black Cobra movies?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but
yeah, the guy from those movies.
He's also in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. So you combine, I mean, his character in Black Cobra.
Yeah.
You find like that guy, or, you know, a lot of your blaxploitation type heroes with like Walker Texas Ranger. You got Creighton Duke.
Yeah.
So he's got like all the badass of like Shaft or somebody, but he's also like, you know, like a lone walker on the road to killing Jasons. But yeah, he's a fucking weirdo.
And how does he know how to kill Jason? Like, he never explains how he knows this information. Does.
I feel like there's a whole backstory there that honestly would make a pretty good fan film. Someone should make that.
I think there is a fan film that the one with what was it called, Rose Petals or something like that.
Roseblood. It's not. I believe he's in that one, but no.
They mention a little bit of his backstory, I think, but that's not canon. So I mean, it just is what it is. I would like to see how he like got a hold of this golden Kandarian dagger that supposedly, if a Voorhees is wielding it, can kill Jason with it.
See, I think he has a backstory a lot like Ash from Evil Dead.
Exactly.
There's a lot of Evil Dead stuff.
That's the movie I want. It's just the Creighton Duke movie where he gets that dagger.
What do you think of You Pass?
I'm gonna go with You Pass.
You Pass.
I mean, if he was in a better movie, maybe he'd have perfect nipple placement. But
all right, one of my favorite characters. I love this character actor, though I always forget his name, but he plays Demon in Friday the 13th Part 5, and I feel terrible that I never remember his name. Because he's in Leprechaun 4, he's in Scooby-Doo the movie, he's in Return of the Living Dead. He's and that's, I think, the problem with a lot of character actors is you're like, oh my god, I love that guy, but then you can't remember, like, their actual fucking name.
Yeah, I'm not the best with that to begin with, so. But good character actor, as you said, appeared in a lot of cool stuff. I do like him here in Part 4.
He's in Part 5.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Part 5. Isn't it with the kazoo thing?
What?
Anyways.
The kazoo, like the party blow? That's in Part 7.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. He's the damn enchiladas.
Oh, the whole... Yeah, okay. Right
so, there. Yeah, he is Reggie the Reckless's, like, his older brother or cousin. I can't remember exactly how they're related. And then he's got, like, that hot girlfriend who, I swear to God, isn't she the girl in Purple Rain? I don't know. She's at least dressed like her. Yeah. But she's super hot. And Reggie the Reckless is still cool. Like, he invites, or not Reggie, Demon's cool. He invites him, Reggie in for some damn enchiladas and shit. But those go right through him. And then he ends up on the shitter. And what I do think is really sweet is even though he's got bad diarrhea, like him and his girlfriend are like kind of singing to each other.
Well, how does she die?
Huh?
Don't they kill her with a party favor? Isn't that like when he comes back from the toilet and sees her dead?
I don't remember how he kills her.
I'm pretty sure it's a party favor, like a kazoo thing into her eye, like when he comes back from the toilet.
Part 7.
Well, I don't remember.
It's one of the kills they cut.
Oh, okay.
They cut it short, but Part 7's really heavily edited. Part 5 actually is really good kills, though I can't remember how she dies.
But it's very sleazy and greasy.
But definitely correct us in...
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Miguel Nunez Jr. God, why do I never remember his name? And I love him so much. Hey, Mummy B Movies here. What's up?
Mommy.
What's up?
Thanks, Ben. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, Miguel Nunez Jr. He is so great. Gosh. And I always remember his quotes. And like, I can't remember his name, but I remember his quotes. Like, love him in Scooby-Doo. Purple? That's a fall... It is a fall color. It's the middle of May. And I don't know if it is a fall color. I think actually the color she's wearing is more spring. But whatever. I still like the quote. He's fantastic. He's the best part of Leprechaun 4. I just love him.
You know, I'm just going to give him his actual line. Those damn enchiladas.
I don't like that he snaps at his girlfriend when after she gets killed. Hey, Ben, remind us how his girlfriend got killed. I can't remember. But yeah, tell us.
I'm pretty sure in the video game there's like, a little mission where you gotta kill her while he's in the porta potty. So that way she's dead by the time he comes back. It's like little one-player missions.
I want to go to Letterboxd. I think that'll be better.
That might help.
I'm going on IMDb for looking at these. So I would put him as you pass.
All right, go ahead.
Dude.
I'm having a hard time remembering some of this stuff, so that's why I'm putting him in the middle. He's not
I'm gonna
standing
look
out.
up.
It's not standing out too much either way.
You don't remember him?
I remember the line.
The ooh baby,
Yeah.
ooh baby. I even remember the song, dude. That's how much he touched my heart.
Apparently.
The
Final chapter.
final chapter.
Now I want a candy bar.
It's the wrong movie.
No, part 5. Candy bar. That's how the guy gets killed in the
No,
game.
I had the wrong one pulled up.
Oh.
Dude.
What are we
Her
looking-
throat is sliced while he's taking it up. Okay, I knew it wasn't like a super exciting kill.
Yeah.
But it was just, she's quickly dispatched. I couldn't remember if her head was crushed or if her throat was slit. Yeah, okay, her throat's slit. Yes. He can't open the door because her body is blocked. No, that I did remember. But the party favor is definitely in front of the car, and that is part 7 because they're having a party.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's one of those ones I think if you watch, there's like parts of it that have been leaked along like from a work print. It looks like it would have been cool, but it's one of those ones where it's just cut immediately. So all the kills in 7 are kind of lame.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'm going to say you pass. I like him.
All right, give me you pass then.
Speaking of part 7, the fucking psychologist.
Yeah,
what
Lisa's psychologist
they
slash
had
stepdad, possibly, like, are going to be.
What? Gross, Dan.
Seems like he's hooking up with her mom.
That's gross. I don't agree. That we're not a fan of that. Also, rest in peace, Lar Park Lincoln.
Yeah. Lisa's great. This guy is a douche who's like just trying to
Tina's
exploit her.
great.
Yeah. I guess that's what
Played by Lar Park Lincoln. Tina.
Yeah. Tina. Young Tina. Mr.
Huh?
Shepherd. Mr. Shepherd.
I'm trying to remember the name. It's her therapist is Bernie, or from Weekend at Bernie's. Isn't he? What the fuck was his name? They had a nickname for him. Dr. Cruz.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Terry
That's
Kaiser.
it. Yeah. Okay. He sucks.
I mean, in Weekend at Bernie's, he's great.
He's also in, wasn't he in Taming the T-Rex? I think he was.
Bernie's back and he's stiffer than ever.
Senior Cruise to Vancouver or Dead Meat, Real Dead Meat. I mean, he is a good villain because I do hate him and I'm supposed to hate him. And he's very manipulative, so I'm going to say Senior Cruise to Vancouver because I don't like him, but I do appreciate that he's a well-written villain.
Yeah, he's very important to the plot, so.
You're important to the plop.
The plop?
Yeah. Oh, God, what's her name? I think her name's Edna from Part 5. That chick's hilarious. Oh, my gosh. What was her name?
She's such a mean wife, though.
What? She's not a wife.
Or mom, then, I guess.
She's a mom.
Yeah, she's a mean mom. Granted, her
Dude,
son...
you need to rewatch these freaking movies.
Apparently.
Gosh, what was her name? I want to say it was Edna. Part 5. Yeah, it's part 5. We should have a marathon. Ethel. Her name's Ethel.
There you go. Ethel.
Close freaking enough. Okay, I think she's hilarious. I really like her. I mean, I think the first few times I watched this, especially when I was younger, she would get on my nerves a little bit. But it's one of those things where Part 5 I didn't usually really care for when I was younger. And maybe just because I didn't watch it as much for a long period of time. Because it used to come on TV all the time, so I got sick of it. And I never watched it. And now I watch it, I think, more. It's really grown on me. So I'm going to say you pass. I really like her.
I dislike her, so we're going to have to meet in the middle. I'd give her a Senior Cruise.
How about those damn enchiladas?
All right. No.
Jenny!
You put her in your pass.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops. All right. Jenny is pretty top notch here.
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny. With a G.
Yeah.
Duh. How are you saying it? With a J?
I don't know. You're saying it like a weird.
No, I wasn't. Anyways, Jenny's awesome.
I like that she uses her knowledge of like psychology to try to understand Jason. And she actually thinks about Jason as a person, not like a monster, which I think is really important. And I think that's how she's able to best him. Like she actually wonders what it would be like for him to be like alone in the woods all that time.
And like even in the video games, both of them, you can like kind of use the whole tactic of tricking Jason, you know. So like, and that all comes from her putting on the VOORHEES sweater and trying to like trick him that way. She did a great job. She also kneed him in the balls. Like she's physically willing to fight as well.
And she still looked badass even when she pees herself.
Yeah, and that was because like she has a fear of rats.
It was because of a rat. Yeah.
Rats scare her.
But yeah, she was really cool. She manages to hold her own. She fights back well. She's not a total goody-goody. I mean, again, she's also boning the director of the camp guy. The
camp director, not movie director.
Yeah, the camp director is what I mean. Yeah, perfect nipple placement.
Yeah.
We just love her.
It was kind of sad, like, because originally, I guess, part 3 was going to have her back, and she would be in a mental hospital.
Who the heck is this one?
But it never happened.
I can't really tell.
The picture's kind of small. I can't really see.
All right, if you know in the chat, if you can recognize who that is, I'm having a hard time recognizing them.
Google image that.
What?
Google search image. That'll tell you.
Search with Google Lens. Google doesn't know.
Google doesn't even know.
I'm not recognizing the picture. I can't even tell what movie that's from.
No, she's dead meat. Real dead meat.
I feel terrible. Like, who is... I honestly, I don't know. I have a hard time because the image is so small. Let's see if we can make it bigger. That might help. Whoa, it's getting way big.
Enhancement.
You're enhanced.
These ads. No, we are not sponsored by Kiz Kali.
I don't fucking recognize who that is.
Is that the VOORHEES from Jason Goes to Hell?
No.
Okay, well, that's my guess.
Purple bag. I've never seen this woman in my life. I refuse.
I'm assuming that's not true. We probably have.
I've never seen her in my life.
That's how forgettable she is, though.
Lies! Lies upon lies. Okay, I'm going to put her in dead meat just because, I'm sure I know who it is. I think it's probably the picture is not very, it's not super big and it's not very clear.
It's not Jarvis's sister, is it?
I'm inclined to say she's maybe one of the party guests from part 7, but she's not the nerdy one who loses her glasses. She's not the super popular one.
That's the one girl from that one movie. Good job.
I can't recognize her from the picture. I would need a little more. Well,
next up we got the Sheriff's Daughter. Part 6.
What was her name? Was it like Megan or something?
I don't know, but I definitely shipped her with Tommy.
Yeah, I think her name was Megan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Megan. She's okay. She's sassy and all that. I think you kind of need somebody like that because Tommy in part 6 is a different kind of Tommy. He's a little more goofy, kind of like almost like an Ash character, not with the arrogance, but as far as the I'm just getting lucky here. If it wasn't for Tommy Jarvis in part 6, there wouldn't even be a problem with Jason.
Yeah, he's the one who brought him back to like Frankenstein style. With
yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
He's kind of an idiot, and so I like that she's like no bullshit and stuff, and
even though he knows that he's probably kind of like an idiot, he's on the righteous path, even though no one will listen to him. She's willing to hear him out, and yeah, she's badass. And wherever the red dot goes, bang. I say you pass.
I'm gonna say you pass too. Yeah. She's not as memorable, no. but we like her. We like her.
They make a good power couple.
You're a power couple. This is the snobby girl from part 7.
Yeah,
it's her party. What was her freaking name? Yikes. Yikes, indeed.
She's kind of a real biatch.
She's supposed to be, but
Exactly.
unfortunately she's not, like, super well written. She's very just, like, very stereotypical. She doesn't have a whole lot of layers. She's just mean to Tina for no reason. So I'm going to say dead meat, real dead meat.
I'd ship her on the senior cruise, but that's fine. Dead meat's fine. Throw her there.
And then we got the co-therapist, counselor, person of the camp in part 5. That's the sound I make when I can't remember people's names.
Final girl of 5, right?
I mean...
She lives, right?
Yeah. Her and Reggie the Reckless.
And Tommy. They all survived.
Yeah.
5.
It's a final trio, I guess. Pam. Pam. We love Pam.
She's them damn enchiladas.
Yeah, Ben likes how rebellious the last girl was. I like that too, and because her dad's like the sheriff and stuff. Like, she could have been a real dick, but lucky for Tommy, she was cool. Yeah. But back to Pam. I really like Pam. I think Pam is kind and the kind of person you really need in a camp like this. It's like a camp for people who have experienced some kind of trauma. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there are a lot of real camps like that. And a lot of times, like, kids just get put into them, like kids in foster care and stuff, because they don't have anywhere else to put them.
Yeah.
And sometimes the people who run them, I think, are not necessarily the best equipped for supporting teenagers in that situation. I thought she was really great. I thought she was kind to Tommy. I like how she is with Reggie. She's badass. She really steps up at the end there. So I'm going to say you pass.
All right. You pass is fair.
Mrs. Voorhees. Let's save her towards the end. We're going to save her. Oh my gosh. It's so weird. Like some of the characters they picked here.
Paul?
Gosh. Paul! Fuck Paul!
This picture is not doing it justice, but Paul sucks. He also wears Mrs. Voorhees' like sweater for no reason. Like, no one explains why he has the exact same sweater as her. He just...
That's part 3 you're thinking of.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Paul... No.
Paul's in part 2.
Yeah.
Paul is the director of the camp in part 2.
He's
the one who warns the girls to keep themselves clean because the bears can smell them when they menstruate. Mm-hmm. He's a douche. He's a mega douche, and like I prefer to just believe that he's dead at the end, even though they're wheeling him away and not a body bag. The whole ending of that movie is weird.
I like that movie, but it's like a dream sequence. I don't know what happened through that, like crash through the wall. Like, it didn't make any sense. And Paul lives? No, please don't. I'd rather Paul die.
Paul sucks. How about send a cruise to Vancouver?
Yeah.
Senior cruise to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then this is the douche nozzle from Manhattan, who's...
Yeah. Put him on that cruise as well.
Yeah, he's not super memorable.
I mean...
He doesn't deserve even a lot of time, but yeah, honestly, his scenes are not the most fun. And I'm going to judge it based on how much these people entertain me too. And his whole storyline with, like, the kids and, like, they have to, you know.
I feel like, didn't he resist one girl who was trying to, like, sleep with her way into grades or something, though?
It seemed like he wasn't, really.
At
least, that's the impression I got. But, no, I don't like him.
No.
Senior cruise to Vancouver. He doesn't even deserve the bottom slot.
Right.
He can't be with the bottoms.
Well, you've mentioned him a few times already.
Reggie the Reckless! I fucking love Reggie, because, like, when I was a kid, I really kind of gravitated towards the kids in the movies I was watching. So I really loved, like, Jamie and Halloween, and I loved Charlie and Firestarter. And I loved Reggie the Reckless because I was about his age when I saw this movie for the first time.
Exactly. I was young. I remember seeing part 4 and, Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman. And you're like, oh, a cool character I can relate to because I'm not even like a partying teenager at this point or an adult. And then the next one, Reggie the Reckless, also a good insert character to like kind of latch on to.
Also, why I like the Child's Play movie so much, because I was a kid, and they usually had a kid protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really like Reggie the Reckless. It sucks that he's kind of stuck at this camp, where she's not there as a patient, he's just there because he just has to be. I think, what was the story?
His grandpa was the caretaker or something?
Yeah, he's there because of family, for whatever reason. And he's just kind of stuck there.
Yeah.
But he makes do.
And some of these kids that are there are pretty violent,
and
so it's
honestly,
not a
they
great
should
place
probably
for him.
protect him from some of these kids who are not quite mentally well. I mean, we
Yeah.
have a homicide in the very beginning, but Reggie handles things pretty well. He can hold his own. He's tough. He's not easily shaken, and he gives people the benefit of the doubt. Like, he tries to befriend Tommy right away.
And Tommy scares him with a mask, and they have, like, but it's fun. Like, they have a good little back and forth banter and stuff. I like him. So, you pass?
I say you pass.
You pass.
Again, one of those characters when I was a kid, I really liked him. Then I got to be, like, a teenager, because they played, I feel like they played Friday the 13th Part 5 the most on TNT. When I was a kid, so I got really sick of this movie. And then he started to kind of annoy me. And then he looped back around to just being my buddy again, like now.
And
so.
Part 5's, like, one of the reasons why you want to watch Part 5 is for the gratuitous violence and some nudity. But, so you're watching that on TV.
Gratuitous nudity. It's like, honestly, the last time you get really good nudity in the franchise.
And really
with
good kills,
Deborah
too.
VOORHEES. And she had perfect nipple placement.
Exactly. So, like...
Why isn't she on this fucking list?
The fact that one was on TV all the time was just really, like... insult to injury because you want to see that one uncensored. So, whatever.
Oh my gosh. I hate that I've seen these movies so many times and there are characters where I cannot remember their freaking name. Like, that's sad. Shit. What's the name of the protagonist in Part 8?
She gets weird visions.
She gets that Stephen King pen.
Yeah. She's seeing, like, Jason as a little boy, which... weird.
Rennie. I should have remembered that one.
It's a unique name. So.
Rennie.
Okay.
All right. I think they. Yeah. She has weird visions of Jason floating in the window, which is bizarre. I like that she's a writer. I always thought it was cool that she got that Stephen King pen in the very beginning.
Yeah.
She handles the streets of Manhattan okay-ish.
Well, Jason actually saves her at one point.
I kind of liked her when I was younger just because I thought she looked a little bit like April O'Neil in the Ninja Turtles movie.
Which is weird because both of them kind of came out, and New Line Cinema just bought both of those movies. And if Ninja Turtles would have bombed, like if it would have just been too bad for kids, their plan was to make them fight Jason, who was also in New York at the time. So it's kind of weird that she did have an April thing going on.
She's not super memorable, and she doesn't have a whole lot of agency. A lot of the things that happens that she survives, she lucks into, like the sewage and stuff. So I'm going to say those damn enchiladas. I don't hate her. I don't really like her, especially.
She could have been better. She certainly wasn't bad.
And I want to say this is Trish from Part 4. Isn't her name Trish? Come on, Dan. You've seen these movies a billion times.
I know.
You're bad with the movies, too. You keep getting, like, the wrong movies.
Yeah, well...
You're getting, like... Yeah, it is Trish. Damn, you're lucky you have me. You're lucky you
Kimberly
have me
Beck.
to help you remember stuff.
You're right.
I love you. I like Trish. Here's the thing. So, Part 4. I know Part 4 is for a lot of people their favorite movie. I really like what's going on with the Jarvises. I like the whole Jarvis sandwich. I love Tommy. I love Trish. I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more if it was more with her, the guy who's looking for his sister. I gave zero fucks about the teenagers next door. I think they should have been reduced to just a very small, like, body count plot.
Kristen Glover.
I didn't need it.
He's a dead fuck.
I think that you could have cut it down to maybe just showing Crispin Glover a little bit. But, like, remember when they're watching old-timey porn and stuff? Like, I just give zero fucks.
Then the Spearmint twins show up and...
Yeah, it's weird. I think even when I was younger too, like I was uncomfortable. Like, and same thing with my son. I remember showed it to him, like when they're all skinny dipping and stuff. I'm just like,
But then Tommy's peeping, and that's just kind of how I was watching movies as like the same age. I was like, ooh. So that was another reason why I related to him, I guess. Trish is fine, but honestly, I just kind of say those damn enchiladas.
She's fine.
I don't think without other interesting characters that she would have been very well received or whatever. I think it's mostly because she's around some other characters. And she's a good supportive character. And
then we got the guy who Clay's based on, kinda, from Part 4, who's looking for his sister, who was in Part 2, who gets the Bay of Blood kill through the bed. His name was Rob? Was it Rob? Yeah, I feel like it's Rob. You're killing me. And which, again, not the actor's fault. I don't know how you can deliver that line. in a cool way. But he's fine. I like a lot of his character. I like that we have a character who is connected to a previous movie. Mm-hmm. I like that it gives us a little bit of continuity. Unfortunately, he doesn't really do a whole lot.
No, like, his story's, like, interesting on paper, but they don't give him enough screen time to flesh it out in any way to make you care all that much.
Again, why one of the kids cut down. It's not that I hate the kids. I just, like, there was a moment between him and Tommy when he looks at the masks and stuff, and he's kind of connecting with them, and I'm like, who's this guy? What was his story like, you know?
That's why I like in the remake that they really... I think whoever made the remake really thought about this character and like, this character should have had more.
They should have given him a little more to do, and he's dispatched pretty easily.
So I'm going to say Senior Cruise, to be honest, just because they didn't give him much. Like, if they would have given him more, I would
say those damn enchiladas.
That's fine. Sure.
You know who I'm upset isn't on this list? Frickin' Gordon. The MVP dog. And see, I remember Gordon's name. I can't remember a lot of these characters' names because they're pretty forgettable, but I remember Gordon.
The dog that jumps out the window?
Yeah, dude!
But that's the last you see it. Did Gordon even survive that jump?
Of course he survived. Of course he survived,
We don't see
I'm
how
pretty
he
sure
even
Gordon
landed.
is the same dog from Watchers, and he's, like, super enhanced.
We don't even see how he lands.
Bruh.
It's like
he survived.
It's like the third story on a weird
Dude,
hill.
I don't like the world that you're inhabiting right now. It's messing with my mojos.
But I do like how he's like, people, I'm out.
I love that. I love that he's just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I think he did survive. And I think he lived a long and full life.
Unlike the muffin look-alike. Or whatever.
It's like the movie Watchers, the Dean Koontz movie that's got Corey Haim in it?
Yeah.
The dog's like super enhanced. He looks like the same dog. I think it is the same dog.
The dog from part 2 where it is like the same dog is dead, but then later that dog's alive. It's like, so there's an exact similar looking dog that did die? That's confusing.
Muffin.
Yeah, Muffin.
Yeah, but then the end of it's supposed to be like a nightmare or something, so I guess Muffin...
But they're not even the ones that found like Muffin's body and stuff, so it didn't make any sense.
But it's supposed to be Ginny's nightmare, so she doesn't know that Muffin's dead.
Yeah.
So she's having a dream about Muffin, which is kind of sad because I guess that means Muffin's dead.
Oh.
At any rate,
it's weird.
You're Muffin obsessed.
As long as Paul's dead.
Paul. So this is Rowan Lena Doig, who she was the mom of, or the aunt of the main character in the Chucky first season.
Oh yeah.
Still like crazy hot, dude. Lexa Doig. Okay, the beginning of Jason X, I think she's really interesting, and then she doesn't really have anything to do by the end of the movie, because then they make the big Superbot.
The robot,
the
KM-14, and then Sergeant Marcus also gets involved and stuff.
She's essentially the character who is like, hey, Jason is this guy, he's really dangerous, and once everybody's on board, her purpose in the movie is just not really needed. Mm-hmm. She's really the person who's supposed to tell them, educate them about who Jason Voorhees is. Once she's done that, she kind of fades away in the film and doesn't have a whole lot to do.
I love how she's stabbed through the steel door, and then they're like both frozen there. But I don't care how strong Jason is. There's no way that machete was going to go through that thick of steel. He would have broke the machete.
Keep your logic out of my Jason movie. I'm going to say those damn enchiladas.
Yeah. I mean, she's fine.
Oh my god!
The douche from the remake.
I love this guy. This guy. Okay, so here's the thing. It's. I think most people are inclined when there is a villainous character or an antagonistic character to be like, oh, I hate that guy. And you're supposed to hate him. He does exactly what he is supposed to do, is make you hate him. His friends don't even like him. And I think at some point, all of us have known somebody like this, where you hang out with them and you're not even sure why. Like, you met them through a friend of a friend, and you want to be included in things that your friends are going to, like parties or like this trip over to this guy's house, but you never really like them. You never really warm up to them. He's a total douche about the house and stuff. He doesn't treat women very well. He's cheating on his girlfriend.
He likes it when they have perfect nipple placement, though.
But he's also freaking hilarious, and he is one of the more memorable characters in this. Actually, a lot of the characters had pretty great lines in this, but he is one of the more memorable characters in the film. I really liked him. I'm going to say you pass. His name's Trent.
Yeah, I guess.
He's a great foil for Jared Padalecki, too, because he's also very, very tall and stuff. And I think he looks like, on paper, what what a boyfriend would be like, you know, like a good boyfriend. Like, he's handsome, he's rich.
His death is satisfying. It's with a tow truck.
But you can definitely see why his girlfriend, Jenna, ends up going after Clay, because
her boyfriend's an asshole. Well, he's also
Clay
a cheating
may
asshole.
not have all the advantages that Trent has, but I think what she's realizing is that it's more important to be with somebody that you respect and that is kind to other people. I feel like this is a guy she got with maybe because he was charming initially. I bet he was really charming, you know, and he's probably really popular in school. But then you find out he's a dick.
He's got his own like cabin out in the woods with a boat that
sounds fun, like going to the cabin and riding on boats and stuff. But then you realize that it's not enough especially when you see them being cruel to other people.
Yeah.
But I think
like crap.
He reminds me a lot of like Heather Chandler from Heathers. He's a great villain that you love to hate. You cheer when he dies, and I applaud the actor. You know, I think he's a perfect. You know what? That's what he is. He's a perfect heel.
He's an MJF.
He's a perfect heel, and that's what you want. You as a heel in a horror movie. That's a wrestling term for basically a villain. You want to hate them. He's getting the reaction he needs to get. If you liked him or if you were conflicted, then he's not delivering what was written on the page. Now, he's not written as a complicated character, and that's an issue. So he doesn't get perfect nipple placement, but I think he definitely gets a U-pass.
Sure.
Bronsky, is that his name?
Yeah, there you go. Sergeant Bronsky or Broski or something like that.
What's his name? I think
Brodsky.
Brodsky. Oh,
Brodsky.
I was so close.
Sergeant Brodsky.
This fucking guy. So, I love that he is, like, there's a lot of these kind of movies, I think especially in, like, the early 2000s, where they would have that sergeant guy. You know, I think I'm thinking of, like, The Rock and Doom and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, even Aliens, where you have like Hicks and all those guys, you're the badass sergeant. But I love that he has that, but he also has these moments that are just hilarious. Like when he's shooting into the stratosphere.
And he's got Jason sacrificing himself and they burn up in the atmosphere.
I love it so much. What a badass. Like, it's one thing to put yourself in danger knowing you might die. It's another thing to allow yourself to burn up in the atmosphere.
Just to take VOORHEES with you.
Just to ride VOORHEES to Earth. That is a man. That is a true, down to the grit man.
But it wasn't even our Earth. It was like New Earth.
Whatever, dude.
Because they find Jason on our Earth frozen, and then they go far deep into space, but they go into this planet, and it happens to have its own crystal lake, and his mask is the only thing that didn't burn up in the atmosphere.
That is the manliest man ever. In my deepest, darkest moments where I'm not sure I'm going to make it through the day, where I'm afraid of things under the bed, I remember Brodsky.
And that visual alone, he gets a U-pass.
And I think, what would Brodsky do? I wish he had more to do with the rest of the movie, but for that moment alone,
U-pass.
He definitely gets a U-pass.
Yeah.
I mean, and guys, look at this. Look at this tier rating. Obviously, we love these fucking movies. Most of them are getting good. Okay, so let's move on to a controversial character.
What's so controversial? He's a great lawyer, and he's actually helped sorting all of the problems with
That's in real life.
The franchise out right now. He's a
hero. We're not factoring the actors in.
I'm just saying the actor's a real hero. All right, Shelley, who was actually not even an actor when they made this movie. He was actually like, they were handing out flyers or something, and he like just kind of accepted the role, and they like, all right, we like your cut, and they put him in the movie.
I love his beautiful hair. I wish I had curls like that. I love curls, as my husband knows. I'm always like, oh, I love your curls.
I also like practical jokes. It's like April Fool's Day every day with Shelley.
Here's the thing with Shelley. I feel like with confidence, Shelley would be insanely sexy. Because I love the practical jokes. I love that he likes scary stuff. The thing that makes Shelley unattractive is his lack of confidence. When he's like, oh, you probably didn't want me for a blind date. Like, the girl he's hooked up with for the blind date, she's like, dude, you're doing this to yourself. No one's doing this to you. She happily hangs out with him and stuff. He's his own worst enemy.
He gets really bitter at the end when she doesn't want to go forward other than being nice.
Yes!
Like, so that does take him down
I don't care for that at all. And so I think, honestly, if he just had all the practical jokes and the love of horror and a little bit and confidence, this would be an insanely sexy character and one that would definitely get perfect nipple placement.
It gets bumped down to you pass.
But because he has that nice guy persona where he's angry
Toxic
at girls,
nice guy,
it's like,
yeah.
no, honey, people don't like you because of your self-effacing, like, I don't know. Like, your lack of confidence is really not attractive.
He also is the one that kind of, like, gets the biker gang to come to help out at the end of that movie, and Jason gets his mask because of him. So there's a lot great going on.
Did you just say that he made the biker gang come?
Yeah.
You're right, can't.
Foxy or whatever. Like, they all show up because of him.
Hey, Rising Sun, what's up? It has been too long.
I know.
It has been. Actually, we're moving. In case you haven't noticed that everything's empty. This is our last stream in this house. You guys notice that we move more than anybody else? I swear. We moved just last year.
I don't know. We might do a Killer Clowns one before we leave, but probably not. There's not much time for us to do stuff, so... Unfortunately, I was going to actually even have a video of Don't Look Now for Father's Day, and I'm just going to try and get it done by this month, but it's not coming out for Father's Day. We're just too busy.
The bright side is we are moving to a new place. The new landlord sounds pretty cool. Hopefully he's not going to rehome us in a year. Yeah. Hopefully we have a place that we can stay for a while and be comfortable. And a lot of our friends helped out. We had a fundraiser because just moving expenses are insane, and we're still catching it from having to move last year, and then our car died. Like, I swear, guys. Oh, and my team is on kind of might be laid off.
Hiatus at the moment,
Right now we're still getting paid and stuff, but my job is shaky. But I found a couple of temp jobs. We're staying afloat, guys. We are staying a freaking float. But unfortunately, it does mean that just like last year when we moved, content is kind of on a hiatus for a little bit. But you know what? We're going to come back strong. We're going to come back strong. Come July, you're going to be like, who are these freaking horror addicts? Where are they coming with all this content? Also, on my channel, Gory Me Movie, I got some stuff coming too. So, guys, do not worry. Do not worry. You know, we always land on our feet.
You're going to think that Tommy Jarvis revived us with lightning. We're going to come back that strong.
Fuck yeah, applesauce. So, back to Shelley. I'm going to say Senior Cruise to Vancouver. Like, he's somebody I want to like because he has, like, those Tommy Jarvis characteristics, like liking horror movies and stuff, but... I just hate the nice guy, the toxic nice guy-ness of him.
I'm going to at least say those damn enchiladas. Because he's got a lot of great things going on for him, like I mentioned.
Alright.
Well, that's the middle.
I'm
You really want Senior Cruise? Like, that's how much you dislike Shelley, huh?
Fine.
No.
Fine, he can be a damn enchiladas.
I would have put you past.
This is the sheriff from part 6. He honestly...
he's pretty cool, honestly.
He has a really cool death when he gets folded in half,
yeah.
which is cool.
And he, like, brings the fight to Jason. He, like, even stuns him up quite a bit. And he's just there to protect...
I don't know why he's got to cock block my boy Tarvin.
Because it's his daughter, man. He's just being
so
a good dad.
This man's so right, Jason Voorhees 3 times.
This is the man who brought Jason Voorhees back to life.
You want that DNA in your gene pool.
This man brought Jason Voorhees back to life. That's not
alright, Tommy's a complicated guy.
He is, and that is my favorite version of Tommy.
He's kind of like a mentally scarred Hulk in part 5, where he's just crazy strong and knows like jujitsu.
Right.
And then he's like a really cool kid in part 4.
I give him those damn enchiladas.
Yeah, me too.
They'll break you in half.
This is the guy whose fingers are broken and Jason goes to hell. Honestly, why is he even here? We didn't get any of the other Voorheeses.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know. He is.
I think that one gal
he gets the most
earlier.
screen time, I guess, out of all the people that are fighting Jason in that.
She's not the mom. I think she's the younger one. I don't remember. I think she is from Jason Goes to Hell. But I mean, honestly, a lot of the protagonists in Jason Goes to Hell are pretty freaking forgettable.
I just remember this guy. I thought I was going to just not like him at all, but then he does a lot more. And honestly, he grows on me the more I watch that movie. But
I mean, yeah, he's not even with the girl anymore. He's the baby daddy.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's trying.
I'm going to say he's pretty forgettable, but I don't hate him. So those damn enchiladas.
Yeah.
Now we got the dead fuck and his buddy, whose name I can't remember.
They're
from part 4.
They're both dead fucks. They put it in the computer right now. Let me see.
Let me put that in.
Yeah, they're both dead fucks.
I don't care.
One of them dies watching the old timey porn.
I don't care when they're watching the old timey porn. Like that's so
only
weird.
Only the one with the vest.
Why are you being so weird? Stop it. So Crispin Glover plays Jimmy.
And he was upstairs getting with one of the twins. So he wasn't watching old timey porn. And then he came down to look for a corkscrew.
They should have had Doug on here. Doug was hot, dude. He was in, Hell Night, too. Yeah, Doug was hot. Doug from Friday the 13th Part 4. I have a friend named Doug. That can come off really weird. It's not, and my father-in-law's named Doug. My Doug from Friday the 13th Part 4, specifically. I'm not being weird. What is the other guy's name? Fudge. Cornelius Fudge.
Are they not showing him here?
You know what, Dan? They're not. They're really not.
I don't know. Anyways, he dies
watching... Because there's too many dang characters.
There are. He died watching old-timey porn, and he was very jealous that he couldn't get with one of the twins. Or anybody.
And they really were the Doublemint twins.
Yeah.
Do people even... We're that age now where our references don't make sense.
I know. Double your
flavor, double your fun. Like, okay, if you grew up in the 80s, if you're in your 40s right now...
They'd always be like on a tandem bike or playing tennis or something like, but then they...
Okay, bucket list. Our fuck it list.
Fuck it list.
For our fuck it list, we need a tandem bike.
Yeah.
Dan?
I tried to buy us one once.
What? Well, how can you even buy us one?
Because by the time... It was back in the nickel ads or the newspaper, whatever.
But
when I called them, they're like, we just sold it. I'm like, oh.
That's some bullshit. I need a tandem bike.
You know why that would have been one of the coolest things ever, too?
Why?
I almost bought it, but they just sold it, apparently, right when I called them. You were away, you were in England. And it would have been a cool surprise for you to come back and see that.
My family lives in England.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's when my grandma passed away.
Yeah.
But, yes. That would have been cool.
All right, well, I mean, I give...
I'm going to say you passed. They were one of the more entertaining... I don't like the teenager storyline so much at Part 4, though, like I said...
Christopher and Glovin making a great holiday reef. Yeah, they get a U-Pass because of mostly Glovin. And the crazy dance that he does. But
I like their interactions and stuff, and I think their interactions are pretty true to a lot of guys I knew in high school.
Exactly, but I mean, the guy by himself wouldn't have been as good.
All right, now we're getting into some pretty heavy, important people. So we've got Tina. I fucking love Tina, played by Lara Park Lincoln, who unfortunately lost her battle with breast cancer pretty recently. Yeah. But I loved her. I loved that it was like Carrie meets Jason, Carrie versus Jason. When I was a kid, this was my favorite movie of the franchise. I think it's different now, but this was the one I watched the most, even though I know the kills aren't great. I loved the Jason the most, and I loved the protagonist the most. She's this character who's really damaged. Also cool, like, a little fun fact. The girl who plays the little girl version of her is also Leatherface's daughter in Part 3 of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
But,
it's first Kane Hodder, and he's just so pissed off and angry, and he looks so cool. When his, hockey mask breaks and you see his face underneath, it looks so badass.
But she really has a lot of,
She does that with her mind. She breaks his mask.
She has a lot of issues with, self-loathing and stuff, because she blames herself for her dad's death, even though, her dad wasn't great in this flashback. He's arguing with her mom and stuff.
But he still redeems himself as Ghost Dad.
But even with having this therapist who's manipulating her and everything, she still is able to maintain enough of who she is to pull through. I really think she's great. I think she has to be really, really strong to survive all that with honestly very limited support. Her mom does her best, but her mom really isn't that helpful. She doesn't have any friends until she meets the one guy. Baby, what's up? But yeah, I'm gonna say perfect nipple placement.
Yeah.
I feel weird saying that about my precious Lara Park Lincoln,
who died of breast cancer. So.
No,
what happened?
No. I tried to pick up this sweet boy, but I don't know. I think he has to pee or something, and I touched his bladder.
Oh. Well, we're almost done with this.
But I thought I would comfort him in his time of need.
Mrs. VOORHEES,
Oh my freaking god. So here's something. Are you okay,
World's
baby?
best mom or not a good mom? You decide.
I mean, especially with a kid who... Baby, you okay? With a kid who has special needs, has a severe medical condition. I relate to Mrs. Voorhees now more than ever. Like, especially if she's trying to take care of her kid. You want down? Okay, sorry. She's trying to take care of her kid. She's a single mom. She's got a kid that needs a lot. And if she had her way, she would spend all her time with her kid, just being there for him, helping him. But she gets this job at the camp because she thinks, hey, this is perfect. He can be a kid and go have fun and swim and stuff. And I will work as a cook and we're going to have a place to live. This is perfect. And to be so betrayed by the people she trusted to watch her child, to let him drown. And on top of that, it seems like he didn't just drown. Like, he wasn't just like swimming, he drowned.
Bullied
he was bullied. So, like, there all the more reason why people should have been watching him and taking care of him. And when you hear about that, especially when you find out your kid's bullied at school, it's one of the more helpless feelings you can have. Because you can't just go there and, like, kick the kids' asses. And I think there is a part of your brain that kind of is like, I wish I could, even though they're fucking kids. And that's the Mrs. Voorhees part of your brain. And horror movies, to a degree, are kind of a way of enacting these fantasies that we know we could never do. You know, like fantasies of, like, revenge. And I think for a lot of parents who have children who are bullied, there's a part of us that has this fantasy like, I wish I could make those kids pay. I wish I could make them suffer. And that's the very rewarding part about seeing Mrs. Voorhees enact her revenge on these fucking kids, even though these kids specifically didn't do it. She's also crazy. The other thing I like to see as far as my interpretation of the film, because I don't believe Jason died, the way I read these films is Jason did not die. She beats herself up so badly for not being there for him, and she can't really face that. That's why she's directing her anger on the kids, on the counselors. She can't deal with that. So her actual son is like, Mom, feed me. Mom, take care of me.
But
Mom, be there for me.
He can't literally say that stuff.
But she thinks it's just the ghost of him tormenting her. And so he has to figure out how to feed himself, how to take care of himself. And so she's so far gone, she won't even allow herself to see that her son is actually alive and still there, which is really, really tragic and really, really sad. Both of their stories are so tragic. So I'm going to say perfect nipple placement. I think she's terrific.
All right. That's fair. All right.
There's more depth to her character than a lot of the characters in this franchise.
What's up?
Tommy fucking Jarvis. The most... What's up, Rhinos 3? Tommy Jarvis.
Little kid Tommy. Let's talk about him
There's
first.
so many different faces of Tommy. The faces of Tommy. So, you first meet him as a kid. He's super into horror movies, and I like that he also has that Ginny moment where he relates to Jason as a child. Mm-hmm. And he makes himself look like Jason did as a kid to basically be like, I'm a kid too. So, like, maybe to connect with him in some way. And I really, actually, for Jason, because I love my boy Jason, I really hate that people use his humanity against him, because I think that's what pushes him to become ultimately the monster he becomes when we get to Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. Like, by that point, he's a monster. He has no humanity left. And I feel like Ginny and Tommy really push him over the edge. And that... I think it's clever, but it makes me really sad, because if you can use his humanity to connect with him enough to take him out, you could have used his humanity to bring him back.
Could you?
I think so. At that point, until part 6, I think he's still human. I think they could have saved him, and that makes me sad. Then we get to him in part 5, which, again, I used to hate it, and now I kind of love it, where he's like knowing jujitsu, and he's really quiet, and he's broken. Mm-hmm.
Though when they're like fighting Roy at the end, it takes a lot for him to come help.
and then part 6, he's kind of recovering from being broken. He's kind of that Ash type character, not as far as, again, the confidence or the smugness that Ash has, but as in Ash
falls upward.
He falls upward. He accidentally wins every Evil Dead movie. It's not because of skills or because of anything. He's just kind of lucky.
Where Tommy is he's very lucky, both bad and good. Like his luck of accidentally bringing Jason back to life, that was bad, but then he lucks his way back out of the mess. So
the big difference is, and I feel like Ash, he's kind of cut himself off from caring about people because everybody he loves, he just realized everybody he loves or cares about dies. And so he acts like he doesn't give a fuck. That's a whole story for another stream. But Tommy, he hasn't quite gotten there yet. And he really does try to keep other people alive, even though he usually ends up getting them killed.
Yeah. There was also a Jarvis in part 2. Do you think he was, like, related to Tommy?
No. But weird. I'm going to say you pass. The problem with Tommy is it's just so disjointed. It's almost like 3 different characters.
I wouldn't say just perfect, just because he is, like, who I think of as Jason's nemesis. Like, he is the foil to him. He's also the guy that you summon in the video game. Like, he's just kind of iconic. He's even continuing to fight Jason in the Never Hike Alone series.
Well, a great foil should be kind of the other side of the mirror of Jason. So, I mean, he does have a close relationship with his sister and his mom. His mom, I think they show his mom die in, like, a deleted scene at part 4. But I guess he is kind of an odd kid and stuff. I'm not sure if he is the perfect foil.
That's how I wrote it.
All right, fine. Perfect nipple placement?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll give it to him. Because I do like Tommy. And like I said, there's so many characters in this franchise, and I've seen these movies a billion freaking times, and they keep getting funnier every single time. But
so have you seen the masks he makes? That's so talented. I wish I could make masks that good.
I mean, they were Tom Savini masks.
Exactly,
but
Tom Savini quality masks.
For me to remember a character's name usually means that they stood out. Because, like I said, I've seen each of these movies at least.
And I don't remember all their names, so.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, me too.
I feel pretty good about this. There's some characters that I think would have been cool on here. I really like the remake. It doesn't get enough love, but I would have put Jenna and Whitney on there.
It definitely grew on me every time I see it. I liked it even more.
There's some more characters that didn't make it on this list. I think the guy who survives part 2, genius, because of beer at the bar.
Also, the boxer from 7 was great.
Kevin Bacon's and Meg is his girlfriend. There are actually a lot of characters in part 1 I really like.
There's a lot of characters I think if they would have been on here, they would have ended up on the dead meat area. But
maybe, okay, our dog has to pee. I think we should go.
All right.
Well, anything to say?
You
can wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up while you let the dog out real quick. Anyways, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Huh? Happy Friday the 13th, especially June Friday the 13th, which is Jason's actual birthday. So it's a very special one, as we've said. We hope it's been a great Friday the 13th for you. Let us know what you kind of like. If you really have any big differences on these characters, let us know in the comments where you would put them and why we're wrong.
And if you want more from us, we've also done on this channel, I think you can find our favorite kills. We did a ranking of the Jasons. We've done a ranking of the movies. That one's really outdated. We probably should do a new one soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's tons more Friday the 13th content. We've also done some pretty in-depth reviews of the first few movies that include Canadian Jason. So there's a lot of Friday the 13th content here on the channel.
My Canadian fan film.
Yeah, we talked about Reggie. I like Reggie the Reckless, dude.
Yeah.
Reggie the Reckless.
As you see that he made it to You Pass. He's right up there. All right, guys. Cut.
Cut.